Do we want to, before we start with the agenda, do we want to do a quick post-mortem on the tree lighting?
That's the question.
Quick, how did everybody think it went? We're just hearing that people who attended thought it was delightful.
I heard questions. Are you gonna do this again? I said, certainly hope we do. So I think people were excited about that part too.
So the tree lights are running 24/7.
We weren't on Friday night. I messaged the whole work structure, and I wasn't here last night to see, has anyone noticed the past couple nights that they were on? I think a fuse might have blown at one point. Okay. I haven't been downtown at night. I sent him an email, I'll follow up after this meeting, I wasn't sure if you'd be here. Yeah. Aaron White noticed it, and both of us went and checked the plugs and everything, it wasn't the plugs. Okay. So that was Friday night, so I'm hopeful that he, that one, because no one's mentioned it since. But everything else, everything should be on 24/7.
My last trip through in the evening was, they were on when I last saw them, so I can't remember when that was. I'm like, when did I last drive through with them?
I'll be there at dark tonight.
That would be sad if we're running through the prime holiday nights and they're not running.
Yeah, I will follow up, I'll follow up with a phone call with Kevin right after the meeting. And then I'll check for myself on it. I have a planning board meeting tonight, so. It's to your right, if you're looking for your hat, there you go.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose it.
Were we able to get the article posted? And that's, no, I know that's you passing along to other more important people in town, but.
I guess I misunderstood what I was supposed to do with that. It was a draft.
When it's approved,
So was it approved by this committee, or I thought the committee approved
the
it?
last one we posted that we just did like that.
Oh, Anthony made changes to it, too, I remember now. So I can post it anytime? I guess in general, how would you like to?
You have the pictures, so I figured you'd take it next day,
Okay.
right?
Yep. If everyone's comfortable with that, we can always change it.
There was only the three of us looking at it. It was just really a recital of what happened that night. I didn't thank everybody who was there helping out. Dot was handing out hot cocoa like the best of them, and Betty was helping, and it really worked out well.
Okay, so I'll get that posted with some photos, and I'm gonna follow up just on the mutually treated is lit. I have a little list of ideas for next year, maybe a timeline that at some point I thought we could, like, maybe have a standard type document for each event.
How about February?
For an event or to look at the list?
Yeah, do the list. Let's
Okay.
bring it back up in February.
Yeah.
Because we've got our plates full with Main Street America.
Yeah.
For the next couple of meetings.
There's a lot on that website. A lot. Main Street America?
Yeah.
I just got a membership, I had in my budget for membership for some of the planning related, but it really, there's a lot of stuff on that Main Street. And I can get some logins, I can't remember how many we can all share to go on that site, and there's some good resources, so I'll also send you that information.
So this is so timely because it's mentioned in organization that we are established and have the authority to be the committee or board or whatever you want to call us.
Yeah.
That is responsible for this. So this is perfect timing. But anyway, go ahead.
Running between the February agenda, follow up with the tree lighting, put the newsletter, and then I'm going to send you the Main Street membership information to log in at that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had asked about, because we're gonna be making applications for the state program, which is what Sylvia's gonna come talk to us about. If there was a requirement in the application to become an affiliate, that there was some formal designation, and she said there wasn't a requirement, so I thought it was interesting too, well, there is an expectation. So yeah, the timeliness of it is good. But so the draft that I put together for you all, which Jim, you're gonna have a hard time reading, I'll talk to you about that. I took it from some different communities, but York, I felt York's, ordinance and rules looked reasonable. So this is really just a jumping off point for discussion.
Okay.
And I apologize, I'm jumping out of order.
And I would love to read this in length before I discussed it, so
Oh, yeah,
can we hold off and discuss this in January, or
yes, we can definitely do that.
get our thoughts back to you via email?
I think discussing it, I wanted to ask you about who to invite to the first meeting that we'll discuss it, like, so this references that it will be reviewed, not this ordinance necessarily, but each event, which this is gonna cover. So fire, police, ambulance services, so should we have them participate in the creation of the ordinance? Because they're gonna have input on what is important from a safety perspective.
I would say first meeting us
Yeah,
to discuss, get it into a semi-final draft. And then we let them put it out to them, tell them what it is, say, you're welcome to join us for N meeting, or provide your feedback via email, whatever, and then, make sense?
it does make sense, and then in addition to that, I was wondering, so there are already any number of entities in town, and I've got a list, I don't know if it's complete, of annual events. And so I'm wondering, should we reach out to the people we can contact who do annual events and ask them to participate as well?
At their choice, right? Not mandatory, they're, again,
Yeah, not mandatory, but to be inclusive, and especially because they're actually doing the events, they will know a lot of, the ins and outs.
Like you're talking about the downtown parade, the
Yeah,
concerts at the park.
who is doing the concert series now? Is it still Elizabeth Peters?
Yes.
but I haven't met her.
She was a former council member, just left like two voting sections ago, years ago.
Recently.
Her home is for sale, so I was wondering if she was still involved.
She is, because she's a Grange member too, so I talked to her a lot. We discussed that.
So you're in that, not including the first responders, you're looking at the chamber, the historical society, the Grange, the Legion.
That was my thought, was those the ones that I identified. So what I could do is send you all the list, say these are the people that are on my radar from the time I've been here, and see if you can fill in any holes, and then invite them. And of course, it's not mandatory, but even if they could send, comments, if they're not able to attend.
Do you have the schools in the list? And the only reason I mentioned that is because of the Giving Back Day, whatever it's called.
Oh, Dave Carey.
Dave Caring.
I have that contact person. Yeah, I have that. But Elizabeth Peters.
Okay, here, what is this a list for?
So we're looking at creating a set of rules, not an ordinance, but a set of rules, policies. Guidelines, so that the events in town will be
All
coordinated
right,
and not conflict, and, there's the
we
aesthetics
should
of it.
make sure the churches, there's
Yeah. That's good.
are in there.
I mean, I could make a list of I have a draft list of business owners I wanted to check with you. I don't think it's inclusive as yours. But generally, I'm hearing what I need to hear, which is, yes, we should, you guys should look at the document and talk to chew on it a bit, and then invite others to participate, which would be people who are gonna review it from a public safety perspective, people who have events and businesses, nonprofits in town. I'd like partly to do it so people be aware too, even if they're like, yeah, whatever it is, we don't mind, but not to all of a sudden they go to do something to find out if it's some new, process that no one.
Whole new set of guidelines,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that have been approved by the town council.
Yeah,
And they're probably, you might want to talk to Anthony about this, but he might want to have a public meeting about it during a town council, right? Open it up for public discussion during a town council meeting.
I think that'd be a great idea.
This is absolutely a way again, related to the two videos we watched, we need the community involvement. If you're concerned about this, get involved, right? If you're concerned about this happening, please join us.
Yeah.
Right?
But a lot of people won't.
That's okay.
But that's their choice.
Based on our
Because
videos,
they've given the opportunity,
We have-
so.
we have
Because
two
a lot of
huge
people don't
challenges
wanna join
ahead of
that.
us,
Maybe
Dawn.
that's what I'm hearing.
Funding and volunteers, huge challenges in this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
But,
You can.
so I think that in terms of asking the town council or suggesting to Anthony that make sure they take public input, hopefully we've notified everyone that we can think of. The only input will be support. Right, we'll shoot for that.
Well, the other thing is maybe we could put an announcement out on the town email broadcasting us for, all the people that are subscribed to that.
Yes,
That would be great. Yeah, good idea, Jim. Because I read that myself.
And I understand why. Maybe I don't. Further discussion, but our meetings could be announced via that email system too.
Yep.
And they're not.
no, you're right, the planning board ones are,
And we're not a board, and I will tell you, my other committee are not either, so
that's all, it doesn't have to be.
it's something that, again, we should look at getting our twice monthly meetings announced via that email, as well as.
Yeah, because if there's people that have some concerns and they need to know they're welcome to come and.
If you're required to post them and they are public, then they want to be published via the email system.
So for consistency,
Yeah.
I don't know, it should be.
Then we don't have that feedback, 6 months later, well, nobody told me this was going on.
And that's the same is true for the comp plan implementation committee.
Those aren't being noticed as well, okay.
And maybe there's a reason, and I'm okay with it, because we're not the town council, we're not the planning board, we're subcommittees, so to speak, but we're still, each and every one of us, we have sworn ourselves in to do the business of Winthrop.
Well, I'm gonna double check on this for consistency, because I don't know if the Conservation Commission is getting those types of notices out as well, so.
They're
So,
not.
in the minimum, what I'm hearing is, that there's a calendar, which we do put it on that, goes the agenda, but having an alert go out from the town through the emails and also the Facebook.
And we have heard people say, I quit getting those emails because there was so much I didn't care about.
Yeah.
So there's a level to how much we burden the public. So there's probably reasons why all these other committees are not published, but community involvement.
I wonder, so I get notices from the city of Portland, that's where we're living right now, and you could pick how you want it, you could get alerts as they come up, or at the end of the week, I just get a Friday summary. And
Oh,
it's
that's
links to all of the stuff that they sent out earlier, I wonder if there's options to have fewer condensed emails or not, I'll ask. Because I like the option of when I get it, I click on what I want.
Yeah,
It's just,
I do too. So they haven't read the whole letter
yeah,
to get to what you want.
see what options they might have.
We're off topic and off agenda, so sorry, my fault.
Yeah, but it makes sense to talk about this now, rather than 6 months from now. When is somebody standing here screaming at us that they didn't know what was going on?
So then you all will review this,
Yes.
mark it up, if you want me to send you a digital copy, I am not married to this. This is some ideas of other ones that I thought, this makes sense. Don't want it to be too formal, but wanted to cover the things that like there's information in here about insurance requirements. I don't really know what this is what the one community was doing, so.
Okay.
It should be discussed.
So we'll put it on our January 7th agenda.
Okay.
That's my birthday.
And you're gonna be 25?
Yeah. Right. The 45th time, 55th time.
And then just to be clear, I'm gonna send you this digitally, so you can mark it up by hand or however you wanna do that, digitally. But I'm only gonna send it to you for now. You're gonna review it on the 7th, and then we'll have a more firm draft, and that'll get noticed, okay? And I'll be pulling together that list in that digital form as well for you to review as to who we want to invite and ask to participate. Sometimes the lights go out on me at night because it's movement. I'm only focused and not moving, but just goes out. Oh, jeez. See that?
Yeah.
You see it just dim?
Yes, I did.
Oh, these just dim?
Mhm.
I didn't know you could dim,
We must have a dimmer over there on the switch, maybe.
I'm not sure. I think it gradually goes downward, at least on my office. I'm not sure why.
You would think you could hear us talking, so we could know that we're in the room.
A little bit.
no, doesn't work that way, Penny, sorry.
It should.
Okay, so where are we on our agenda?
We're going back up to 2.
Yes. It's just a lot of stuff. A lot of great stuff.
How long has all of this Main Street foundations been in existence in Maine? Has it been quite some time?
It has. I don't know if it did offhand.
So we're learning. Everybody's still learning, but basically it's been in place for a period of time.
I think the biggest towns, yes, the more. Like if we was down here.
Speaking of that, out of curiosity, do you know if Hollowell and Gardner are participants and partake in this? They do.
I'm just wondering if at some point, maybe I'm crazy, but,
Exactly what you're gonna ask. I think we should invite those people that
thank you.
and get their feedback from how they're utilizing it.
Well, we're gonna speak with the main representative.
Yes.
Program director.
Downtown Main Street, Maine, right, what is it?
It's the downtown center, but it's the Main Street Main.
Main Street.
Is one of the programs, and she's the head of the program.
So it would be nice, even though we have that, it would still be nice to hear a couple of people from close towns around us. What lessons they've learned from what they've done. What didn't work for them, maybe a little synopsis about that, and what was very effective. Just to give us some hints and help to know where we're going instead of going like this. We could
Right.
channel it a little more.
Right, because Howell does a lot of wonderful things, but they also have that whole avenue full of bars and restaurants that help them out. With Gardner doesn't have as much, they're more placed like Winthrop and more spread out like Winthrop.
Yes.
Although Hollowell does do some of the things that Winthrop does, because once we started our Scarecrow Festival, they did that.
Let's remember what Winthrop has that Hollowell and Gardner do not. One, much larger population than Gardner, much larger. Gardner's in the 2000s, we're in the 6000s. We have 2 commercial districts, they do not. I'm just going through what I know about basically just the big ticket items about Winthrop. We are also a hub for Manchester, Wayne, Reedfield, Winthrop, Monmouth, for first responders. We are here, we have the EMS, we have the police department, yes, we're merged with Monmouth, but that really wouldn't have happened had not Winthrop initiated that. We are a hub, we also were a hub for medical services until a year ago, when a lot of them got shut down due to lack of use or staffing issues. Who knows exactly why they pulled them out? But we do have still some medical resources in Winthrop that are not available in these other communities. We are a hub to series of communities. So we have the capability of being bigger, better, and greater than either Hollowell or Gardner. We have just,
The Gardner is a hub for a lot of places around there.
I do.
Yeah, they do, because when we lived in Litchfield, I agree.
I'm not saying they aren't,
Yeah.
but we have a population draw. We have larger population than Gardner. So yes, Gardner is a hub for that region. We are a hub for this region. We have a larger population to draw from too than Gardner. So I'm not saying they don't have it too, I'm just saying, here's what we've got.
I used to live in Richmond, yeah. You know, there are a lot of times when
He went to Gardner to
we
grocery
would
shop.
go to Gardner, or we'd stop in
Yeah,
Gardner. on the way
absolutely.
home.
Don't disagree, and both of those communities are beating us in other ways. And that's not just wanted to say
It's
that
not
some,
really a competition,
No, it's
though,
not.
as much as what we can bring
Yeah.
to
I didn't mean
together
to-
ideas.
I didn't mean to
from-
use it competition.
Yeah, it's just to
Yeah.
bring more things that people won't travel down there for. Like, I don't go to Hollowell that often. I mean, I did when I was younger. I don't when I'm older because I don't do the bar scene. And it's all related to that one drag of street. However, I'll drive to Gardner for their annual parade because it enlists a lot of the same things that we just did. You know what I'm saying?
Something else we heard about in these videos, we need to know our audiences.
Right.
We have a very older population here in Winthrop. I'm just gonna say, from vivid experience, I sell in this town and I promote in this town. I don't use Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter now, whatever it is. I use Facebook because the older audience is on Facebook. We have an older audience here. That's part of the Winthrop.
One of the things that's a challenge, I think, in Winthrop is that summer population is really, you know, it's transient, but it's
Huge.
remarkable when it's here, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
We don't always see it though, you know, because I mean, it doesn't, it's not as obvious as it would be if it were concentrated, but it's not concentrated at all, it's spread out all around.
It's very vividly obvious to me around the 1st of June or right after Memorial Day, the parking lot at Hannaford is always packed.
Yeah.
You know they're here. You know they're, wherever they are, they're here.
You gotta eat.
They're here.
Isn't it always packed anyway?
Well, not quite as much as in the summer, but that said,
You know, they built a brand new store and then it wasn't big enough and they had to build another brand new store just in a couple more years. It was crazy.
And it was interesting, when we had our Winthrop Day here just a few days ago, I went to Wayne. Wayne was way busier than Winthrop
Post a
was.
lot of stuff that.
They were crowded to the hills. In all
Because they
those
do a
little
lot of those little,
They do.
and it's so compact that they're
Yes.
able to do that.
Right.
Yes.
And they didn't have police, if you will, but they had citizens who were dressed up in costumes helping with the traffic and people crossing the streets and doing things like
Yeah,
that.
they're putting their town back on the map.
Yeah,
Stan
they are.
Davis is a friend of mine.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
But,
he's a
you know,
musician.
The Winter Heritage Day has only had 2 official events at this point.
Exactly.
were you
It's
Wayne or
brand,
Manchester?
it's brand
That was
new.
Wayne.
And last year,
Oh,
it was
6.
probably twice as many people in attendance as the year
History
before.
is where you were in Manchester.
No, that's not, really, because that's
Yeah,
not what I
Wayne
heard.
is packed that day. Their
Yes.
stroll is amazing.
Yeah.
They are jam packed.
You know,
I saw more people I knew that I hadn't seen for.
So let's talk about the first video, get focused on that, and we've been skirting around it. And I won't be the first to talk this time. Everybody watch it?
It was just so much. It was hard to even focus on anything.
I took lots of notes.
I see, I
You're
didn't take
good.
any notes. I was looking at it.
Then
going,
what did
"Whoa."
you get out of it? What's the high point?
Well, there's a lot of grants out there if you can find them and fund it. And, collaborating with other communities. And something focal. And that's when I brought up, when I thought about Hollowell and Gardner, and it's not stealing their ideas, but it's doing something very similar, because a lot of, like you said, people from Wayne, Winthrop, they're gonna stay in their little community, Monmouth and all that. Like when I do anything for the Grange, I always advertise in those two towns and up in Reedfield, always. And I see a few people from those towns.
So 3 high points that she brought out: leadership and strong organizational capacity that will sustain revitalization. I don't write these, they're all in the video, so I'm just ensure broad community engagement, number 2, and number 3, foster or forge partnerships across sectors. So I wrote down 4 or 5 specific words that may help us drive our next projects, right? What we need to do about this to make this start happening. Vision. A shared vision with our goals and our organization's role in the revitalization of our commercial districts. Funding, another big word.
Important one, no?
Relationships. Long list of who we should have relationships with. Volunteerism, volunteer outreach. And minuscule, small, don't forget to celebrate our wins, our successes. That's why that article needs to go out on the website. And we probably need to get together for breakfast at 10 someday, right? Just to celebrate ourselves, right?
Right. I think as far as volunteering goes, we're gonna get what we get, but I also think we really need to beat down that door at the school. There are so many kids out there that would probably benefit from helping us, and I'm serious when I say that. The Grange rate did too, that I had never even thought about. And they were looking for community support, and one girl was very enthusiastic, it's the her girl. They were willing to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and come pour coffee for a Grange breakfast. And for a teenager to get up that early, so you know they had to get up by 5 to get ready to come and do that. And they were just, the people were so receiving of them. And they were chatty and they were funny and it just made the whole morning that much more easier for everybody that did it. And it's just getting to the school and getting those kids involved. Because if you can get them involved at a younger age, they're involved forever. Yeah.
It amazes me how much Aaron White, which history, because he volunteered and he was in high school for different things. And he remembers like when the municipal parking lot and the post office, that all happened, and he remembered that they specifically planted that tree for a Christmas tree. And he just has like first-hand experiences that I think, what an amazing kid he was.
Yep.
There were a lot of amazing kids up there that might need transportation. I know one girl, let's get a picture up on where she didn't have transportation. It also took the burden away from her parents, having to do that on a Saturday morning. You know, they've worked out. Sure. So yeah.
They have other kids, lots of times.
Yes. Yes. I know when in the past when the Grange did the haunted house, I had a lot of people from different towns hit me up, and then they got shut down because we don't have the right kind of towns. But hopefully we will have them next year. Yeah.
So one of the things I want to applaud Dawn in doing, we've had 2 opportunities now at every event. We kind of put up a little booth, which is like a sign with our hashtag, so to speak, our code.
Which will get bigger.
And I did see someone scanning it at the tree signing, yes.
Very nice.
We have no visible place to do that. So, but you tried really hard at both events to make our existence known to the community, right?
Yes, I think that that would be a lot easier. This is one of the questions I'll have for Sylvie is, at what point do you establish a name and you can start marketing? Like, I did a little research on the weekend, I went to Westbrook. Oh shoot, now I forget what their slogan is. You know, the towns have
It was
different
quite
slogans.
memorable, right?
It was really good. They had fire pits and some vendors, some craftsmen, and they had you know, some s'mores and hot chocolate
Was it the
stuff.
town slogan or their revitalization?
It was the downtown revitalization. I talked to the woman who's who's the staff person. She had on like a coat they have a slogan that they use for signs and you know some. When we have downtown revitalization committees, it's just hard to really splash out there.
Right, so what does it mean? That's what people say. They get the downtown, but the revitalization, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah.
It's
You
just
know?
like when it plays outside.
Yeah, like something. I think it would be easier to kind of, for me, at least psychologically, to find ways to get it out of there when it's not like this dry statement that.
With revitalization.
I had a person ask me
We
when they
could
can
just
fill
say-
all the empty businesses, and I said, that's not what we do. We're about fun activities, that's what I said. We're about creating fun, creating memories, fun things
But if we
for the whole
get,
community.
Well, it's
All
not
of
just
these-
that. I think
Yeah.
we need to keep our eyes on the prize, which is the economic, which is part of all these core videos, our economic vitality, our commercial district growth and expansion. We need to fill in our gaps where we don't have a place where we can sit down and eat breakfast on Main Street. We don't, what are the gaps? We need to be concerned about the growth of Winthrop financially and fun wise. I mean, it's not just all fun. There are some good things we can be
Yeah,
doing.
I'm here for fun, I'm sorry.
Well, see,
I'll
we
admit
can recruit people who that is what they're interested in, and don't have to commit.
I'm here
Be that
for
specific.
bringing in the young people, like the tree lighting, all those kids and stuff.
Yeah.
That part just warmed my heart, that really did. There was some older people that really enjoyed it, they come from another town that are now Winthrop residents, and she used to live in Scarborough, and she was just, oh my God, this is so perfect, this is so perfect.
The town of Old Church has a teacher really involved in their group, and you wouldn't believe the kids that participate, because she's a teacher.
she's a teacher,
Yeah.
she knows who to grab.
She knows, and they always have a lot of kids participating in it.
That's cool.
It's catchy enthusiasm.
Westbrook has been doing this since 1999.
That's when it says the program started in '99, so they've been a part of it that long.
We have a lot to grow. We're small. We're small but mighty, right, Dom?
I like that, small but mighty.
We are. Sometimes small and mighty gets more done than large in groups, because you get too much conflict.
Well, I do feel challenged by revenue streams, and right now we have $266 in the bank account. I think,
Well, we have a little bit, we have that $200 as well, so we have almost $500.
Did you use any of that for the lights? Did you pay for those lights independently? You let the town pay for the lights.
They were donated. There you go.
Who donated them?
My family has a business that they're using a lot of lights. It involved a lot of untangling, because they were the ones that they weren't using, but
Did
you
you
still have that money.
include that in the article?
No, they're not a local business, they're not the southern part of the state.
You don't want them to have credit for their donation?
I don't think so.
Are they gonna write that donation off? Because they should.
Probably not. I mean, it was a lot of bins of lights that were rolled up. There were some boxes too, but it was a lot of work. It was a donation, but it wasn't really free.
You spent a lot of time.
They would have to pay someone to untangle all those lights.
And they paid you, right, with love?
So Westbrook is just Discover Downtown Westbrook. So it's not like super fun, but it's not a community. It's not, I don't know, Discover Down, they all have different names. I feel like when you all pick something, it'll be easier. And you can even like sell swag and, to make some money and to have posters and have,
We could have a contest,
Maybe.
a naming contest from the kids at school.
So when we have that, I will make
I
that
know,
sign
you
with a
must-
large
Yeah,
QR.
you're looking at me like, don't you going out?
I don't disagree at all. We have been unsuccessful in engaging the community. Look, we wanted to build those benches. And we got down to the wire where we didn't know there would not have been but one or two people who were sitting around this table building those benches. Community would not have come. And we wanted to do that as a community involvement exercise.
Did you go to the school and ask them?
We did not, and I will tell you, the schools weren't mentioned in either of these videos, the local schools.
Yeah,
I really
I think
think
that's
we get
normal.
somebody in there.
I think we have to recruit.
I
somebody
think
from the
we need to
schools.
go right up to the school itself with a couple people and set in the library with our little sign and
Would it be for events? Would we be recruiting from the schools for events or for the committee?
I think we could probably do both, because you know what? A lot of kids are looking for stuff. I'm thinking about my grandson. My grandson is an overachiever, and he sits at home and he says to his mother, I'm thinking I wanna do something big this year. He's a sophomore. She's like, so what do you wanna do? I'm gonna start out little, but I think I'm gonna do something big before I graduate. Well, what do you think? Well, I think I'll do some homeless baskets for Thanksgiving. Okay, that's what's so, he contacts me and I said, your best overall, I'll help you, Gab, I don't have a problem with that. I said, but talk to Aunt Betty. She works with the homeless community. Well, 250 baskets a year.
Oh, wow.
He reached out, just put a post online. His mother sent it to her friends sent it to another friend. Amazon was delivering every day, and he had a list of things that he was required. He could not believe the response, and that was his little idea. So I think the school is a huge resource for us.
Well, if you get the kids involved, then you're gonna get at least some parents involved, because that just goes hand in hand. But you gotta get other organizations involved as well, so that it, if you will, becomes a little competitive. Oh, they did that, they gave 200, well, I'm gonna give 300, or, you know.
See, I'm
and
not a money person.
No,
I'm not
I'm
a
just
money
using
person.
that as an
Yeah.
example.
I'm not a money person, I never look at things that way, because I always can think of ways to get what I need. I'm resourceful like you are.
And you can say,
Here's the list that the video gave on volunteer outreach. One-on-one, talk to a neighbor.
Yes.
Bulletins, brochures, posters. Walk-in traffic. If we had a place where people could walk in and talk to us, that would be great. Booths at community events, and I give Dawn a great deal of credit for posting our code. PSAs, we don't have television, that's not gonna happen. Corporations,
we got a few.
newsletters. You know, that the newsletter that
Yeah, we did. do so.
we need to try to, maybe we need to start that.
Yep.
At local festivals, promote ourselves, and that would be at the art festival, we should have had a table.
Right.
You know,
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you know
Right.
what, we just start fresh in January.
and we're learning.
It's a new
Yeah.
year.
And we're learning.
Yeah.
Sponsors, we need to find sponsors.
Yeah.
And churches, and it did say universities, so that doesn't apply to us, but yes, schools.
But we have the university in Augusta, which is pretty close to us, and a lot of students go there. It's true from Winthrop, so.
Relationships covered should not only be diverse and inclusive, but property owners, developers, which is Dawn is working on, businesses, city agencies and staff. Well, we've got Mr. Doyle involved from one agency. The town council and any other elected officials, residents, civic associations, we try to work with the Grange and the region, nonprofits. A couple of nonprofits.
The Grange is a nonprofit.
Yeah, I think they just missed that.
What is an anchor institution? Would that be a historical society?
A lot of times it's a business. It could be at the Historical Society because you have the Heritage Center. There are things also like when you have a downtown, having the post office, banks, having those services.
That have been there for a long time, they're like a pillar.
Yeah.
They've been there, okay.
It was brilliant that you didn't let the post office leave downtown.
Right.
Because that is an anchor. People are gonna go to the post office.
Every day, 7 days a week.
It would be
5
a
to 6
shame
days a
for
week.
it to be, yeah. So, yeah, there's different aspects, types of Amherst, but civic things like the post office, town hall, even the library in town, the kids can walk between the schools, I think I think that's a great thing. Yeah.
And the Grange is utilized office, we put a lot of our posters in the post office. We did nothing this year with the library at Christmas time, but in the past, we've always done things with the library, whether it be gingerbread making contest and housed it there, to having gingerbread, people come and make gingerbread houses. And every time we've had an event, we've always had 10 to 30 people, seriously.
They are a little ended together.
For 2026, we should be working on a vision and a mission.
So we're gonna have to have a visioning session. I asked Anthony, he feels that he has enough of a connection, with Jean, his last name, who owns the mill,
Oh, Green,
to have a
Eugene,
visioning
Jean
Session.
Green.
In the mill, like on the second floor, so I'll see what he says, and so we do need to schedule one, but it'd be nice to have the option of having it in the mill, like, because it's like, get people excited, getting right in downtown.
So the comp plan does have a vision statement. I think that ours should work with, in tandem, collaborate, it should mirror but be specific to downtown revitalization. And I do wanna say, just off chance, and they haven't said this year, one of the many things that makes a downtown thrive is that you have people living downtown. And so relationships for us, developers and business owners and property owners is really important. The fact that Brandon came and sat around this table and he's developed new apartments downtown, really important. Because if you've got people living, they're gonna walk down the street to buy from you, eat at your establishment. So that is just, but
It's safer, because people are there, 24/7.
so when we get into visioning, and then working on planning to hit on little projects that start us on seeking funding, volunteerism outreach, and building relationships. We should be establishing things to do in 2026 that addresses those items I brought out of that video, right?
And my hope is that we're doing this work now, and at the conclusion of our meeting with Sylvie, will be more clear what that looks like, right?
Okay.
Cool. And when to create subcommittees, because I feel like you've got this core, and then some of the things like docs identify, events and fun things, and then there's, looking at infrastructure and
I can't
finding
develop
funds for
anything,
that.
I'm sorry. I cannot develop a business. I tried that, and mine went under.
We're so small though, Dawn, right now.
Oh, no, I know.
It's hard to imagine a subcommittee being anything other than who we are.
But the more, presence that we have at different things, again, people have an awareness, and this whole idea of just letting people participate as they can, as opposed to having to become an appointed member, I think would be really helpful.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's true.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Please come
Because
help
they
us
might-
with this.
Yeah,
Please come help us make some posters, and we don't want them to be crude, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
as an example, but anyway.
and we have a nursery school, two in town? I mean, even involve the little tiny kids,
Yeah.
because they love that stuff.
Oh my God, Jean.
They walk up
really
and down
good in
the
there.
street and give out cookies at Christmas, they can't wait to come in and here's your cookies.
Aw, thanks.
They're so cute. And if you get them early, it stays with them usually.
Yeah.
That's true.
Promotion, let's move on to the other video. Do you have something, Jim?
Well, I don't know if it's related to what the current discussion is, but I think one of the issues that I find in Winthrop is I call it esprit de corps or community spirit, or, a sense of belonging. This is my town, I'm proud of it. And I think we need to figure out how to help develop that. And that is something in my mind that is developed not, it takes years to change the way that people look at their community. You know, it can't happen overnight. You know, it's kind of like a lot of things in the political scene where, you know, at one time people had a real strong loyalty to something because of they had a sense of belonging, and now, you know, it's more like people ask, well, what are they doing for me, rather than a sense of society as a whole. And I think that there's some kind of a correlation with some, you know, an idea like that with community spirit. And you know, we are notorious for passing bare bones budgets and having town council people saying no to everything rather than what can I do to make the town better. Not everybody on the town council is like that, but there are some, and they represent a block of people that, you know, I know that they're always going to be there, but we need to do something to try to minimize that so that people can feel like they have a sense of belonging in the community. And then it's a lot easier to build the kinds of things that we're talking about. And I don't know the best way to do that. That's one reason why I started this whole Winter Heritage Day thing, is to help bring in, you know, bring something to the community that would give people, you know, another community event that provides a sense of community. And the town council, you know, made it an official town holiday, which I think, you know, if the town council follows through with that kind of a commitment, you know, those are the kinds of things where, you know, it's not about, you know, a budget or anything. It's about what can I do for, you know, for and with my community, rather than what is the community going to do for me. It all goes back to, you know, JFK speech, but that's just been a concern of mine. And I think that getting things like what we're talking about done would be a lot easier if there was a stronger sense of community.
But how do we bring that about?
He just said he didn't know how.
I think there's a
I
lot of
think-
ways to do that. One of them is, you know, an identity thing. Now, I did a lot of research and I designed a flag for the town that I haven't really introduced much, but it's a, you know, it gives us an identity, and it's a town that it's a flag that has symbols that represent Winthrop, and you know, it's show it to Dawn like that.
I think you showed it to me, maybe you showed it to us, maybe you showed it to us.
I don't know that Dot was with us then, but that's.
I've seen it flag too. I have.
And I think that, you know, those kinds of things help bring about an identity, so that, you know, when we fly this US flag, then the state of Maine flag, and then we fly the town flag. And those kinds of things, you know, I think, you know, it's like the mascot for the high school is the Ramblers, and that brings a sense of real strong identity. Those things are not just meaningless symbols, they help people know who they are and what their community is.
What's interesting is, I don't disagree, Jim, but a lot of people I talk to do love their hometown.
They do,
They
but
just
at
haven't,
the same
there's a
time,
lot of empathy.
and they do, but at the same time, there's a lot of, it's an almost, it feels to me like a kind of a separation, you know? And we see it, you know, in you know, I think we would get a lot stronger support if people felt like the community was really a belonging, you know, a family. I don't know.
I think, Jim, that's possible. but not to a total degree. But I think by us doing the events that we do, I saw people there that I haven't seen in a long, long time come out.
And that's.
And they had little kids with them.
This is like, it's like the art festival, you know, people identify that with Winthrop, but now, you know, hopefully we will build up the Winthrop Heritage Day, you know, and we can build that up, and, you know, but we need to have these things that are resilient. And they're always, you know, pretty soon people grow up with it, you know,
Right, it's a tradition.
and.
It's a tradition.
Exactly. But
Like the Legion always had a day on the 4th of July, and they did a bunch of family activities in that place.
yeah, it's like,
And I can remember that as a kid. And as an adult, when I got older, I took my kids to that.
yeah, it's
And
like.
then those
4th of
people
July
got older
fireworks.
and it stopped because it was basically 2 people that put the whole thing on.
And, you
And
know,
that, you
it's
just
like-
gotta find somebody to pass the
That's what's
baton
going
to.
on with Heritage Days too, it's 2 people doing it, it's not gonna last
you
long.
know, and what Elizabeth has done with the concert series, you know, I mean, that's all so, I think it's so important that, you know, we need to, somehow we need to promote ourselves to ourselves, I guess is what I'm thinking.
Well, and
You
the
know,
other,
not necessarily promote ourselves to outsiders, but to ourselves, you know, it's like we have to be able to give our own selves a pat on the back, and since it's hard for me to reach my back, you know, I can give everybody else a pat, they can give me a pat, you know, it's that kind of a thing, and I don't know how to build that up, but I think.
I think these videos are giving us a lot of things to start with, and a lot of that is, let's inventory what we've got, let's inventory what we need,
Yeah,
right now, it is a shot in the dark, and we're doing little things here and there, and they're great, they're absolutely great, but we need an action plan. We definitely need an overarching, pulling these 4 components together that allow us to make this happen, make what we need happen. And I'm just trying to get us back on track and get to the promotion video. I don't wanna go long, it's crazy holiday time, you know.
Yeah, I got an ornament party.
We agree, don't disagree, Jim, everything is
Yeah.
absolutely critical.
you know, it's like, if you drive up High Street, there's places where the road is gonna fall off the hillside if we don't do something. And a town that really cares about itself would never let that sort of thing
Oh,
happen.
Well, that's
Kansas.
being worked on, it is being worked on.
Yeah.
Let me say, they're talking about ripping and rooting that whole, several roads in this town, just starting all over. That's not something we can control, I can't do anything about roads.
that's outside our, this.
That's outside of our scope, Jim.
Yeah.
We need to improve civic self-esteem.
Yeah.
Although I hear what you're saying, definitely as an outsider, people love this town who live here, I feel like.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
have concerns, but generally,
Hey, I have some friends who come from Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Jersey, they have been coming here since they were kids. Their grandchildren are now coming, and great-grandchildren. And we all get together in the summertime, because we have been a family that long.
Right.
And it's just, this is a
You live
draw.
on the lake, don't you?
I do live on the lake.
It's ditto for me too, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know.
And so
Because you-
there,
I say
I'm
that
4
because I go to
generations in
another
now, too.
community of people that I grew up with on the lake
Yeah.
in another community.
Yeah.
Because that's where we used to.
We also need to know our audience, we need to know our audience, we need to be able to draw to our senior citizens. We need to be able to draw to our families and our kids. We need, and we have diminishing numbers of families and kids because we're becoming such an older population. Doing this comp plan, I learned a whole lot. We need to know our audience, to know how to get them involved. That those above 80 are not gonna come running out to these meetings.
No.
And the fact that you're staring at 4 seniors right now is not good for us, right?
It's why I say we're gonna get our younger generation in there. We have to get our younger generation in there.
So have
Because
we
once you
figured out a new
establish
time for the, Danya to meet with us? Chamber, that was a topic of conversation a meeting ago, to have the chamber member with us
Yeah.
every.
she's a teacher though, she can't come in.
Yeah.
I know, so can she come at 3:30?
I,
Who
you
is
know what,
that
I
chamber
did not
member?
contact her about that.
Okay, I just wanna make sure.
I forget.
And ask her to come at 3:30 if possible.
How do you pronounce her name? I would say Don,
I apologize, like that slipped through the
So,
cracks.
Well, there's been a lot of
the key point, defining our assets in the district. Support the local experience in many ways, not as the center of the community. To communicate.
When I look at all the other, and this is, we talked about having other Main Street people come and we can reach out to them as well. Instead is a page, there's information there.
Alert. You did like you did for the.
they'll be hunkered down.
I know.
Going to basketball.
You and refine.
Would be the most appropriate size. It was pretty challenging to me to thought. We'll see what we can do.
Well, where we are at bedroom town, it's gonna be. They don't work here.
Pay attention on the weekends, sporting events.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah.
can also provide you some of my thoughts.
Organized. That is not my forte.
Well,
Not trying to put you down, but it's less about the commercial aspect of it.
but we have to. You
I
have
know.
to, we have to.
It's not, I don't. In my realm.
And bring people in and interact, yes, and fun is important.
Yes,
I'm gonna go to a business right now and invest in their business. Tell you right now, because it was a business that I actually.
Yes, okay.
Okay. I stepped back because it wasn't I was getting into.
I thought it.
Supporting her.
Go sell ornaments.
And I'm gonna talk to her about having a breakfast. You need to have breakfast.
With you, Jim.
What did you just say,
They're
Jim?
not pedestrian.
Not isn't pedestrian
Right,
friendly.
exactly.
Oh my God. It's really, really bad.
It's
I don't. Yes.
To the town council and said, cars are. I know that miles an hour.
It's the same way in the summer.
Yeah.
It is, and my next door neighbors have little kids and they let them ride.